And welcome back to CentralCoastRadio.com. Well, we are about to chat to a filmmaker that I'm so excited to have on the show because one of my favourite short films that I've seen this year is a film called Hometown Boys, and we thought today we would actually get the director of Hometown Boys on the phone to chat a little bit about it. So welcome to the program, Jamie Sutor.
Hello from the U.S. How's it going? And that's really kind for you to say. Thank you.
No problem, mate. Now, I absolutely love this short film. This was the kind of films that my friends and I were running around at film school making when we were at film school. So this one meant a lot to me to watch. And I was wondering, could you tell us a little bit about where the idea for this one first came from?
It's funny. The whole thing came from me moving to Los Angeles and figuring out, okay, I want to make a short film. What the hell do I do? Because that's normally the thing. I was on YouTube and I found this YouTube video where it was Tarantino talking to a group of people, and one of the people in the audience were like, well, how do I do what you do? I want to be you. He's like, you want to be me? Make Reservoir Dogs. And I took it literally. So I made my own version of Reservoir Dogs, but based it in my hometown of Scranton, Pennsylvania, where I'm originally from. And then it all kind of just spiraled out of control, as shorts usually do. What's the most ridiculous thing we could do? Where do we want to have them rob? And a porn store came up. So I'm like, yeah, I've never seen that. Let's try it. So I wrote it, and here we are. And the short is a proof of concept for the feature film. So this is only a tiny little taste, little appetizer.
So how long did it take to come up with the idea after you saw that Tarantino clip? Like, did it take a while, or did the idea come to you pretty quickly?
I feel like my whole process is it takes as long as it takes. So I feel like with this one, maybe it took a month for me to formulate the idea of like, okay, they're robbing a porn store. What are they getting from the porn store? And a fun MacGuffin idea would just be just a pink lockbox. It's very Tarantino-esque, very in the vein of Guy Ritchie and even Wes Anderson's Bottle Rocket, and just sort of came from that. What are they robbing? They're robbing a pink lockbox for a porn store. Boom! It sounds like a bad joke.
Were you always going to shoot it in your hometown? That's something that I did with my first short films as well, just because it was easy. My friends were there that were going to be in it. Was that something that you'd always thought you would do?
Well, the funny thing was, we actually didn't shoot it in Scranton, Pennsylvania. We just based the story in Scranton, Pennsylvania. Where we shot it was Inglewood, California, at this porn store I found when I was Googling porn stores and where to film it. The porn store is a good depiction of where or what Scranton, Pennsylvania sort of feels like in my mind. It's sort of just this very strange place, very dreamy, and even look at the floor. The floor of the porn store is very like David Lynch. It's just something not in this world. And when I found it, I'm like, yeah, we got to shoot there. I don't care what it costs, what I have to do, how many times I have to call this guy and coerce them into letting like 20 people show up and make this weird heist movie. We're going to shoot there. But for the feature, I do plan on going back to Scranton, Pennsylvania and spending like 20 days and making the feature. It's going to be awesome. And the great thing about Scranton, Pennsylvania is everyone's going to open their doors to you because, if you're a hometown boy like me and you want to, make a good representation of Scranton, Pennsylvania, they're cool with that.
Now, I have to ask, what was that like when you first reached out to the porn store? Because as luck would have it, I worked on a documentary a few years ago that involved some shoots in porn stores, and I met some very interesting characters.
Wait, I want to hear about yours really fast.
So, yeah, it was a documentary that a friend of mine put together about fetishes, and we had to do a couple of shoots in porn stores, and I met some very, very interesting people, got propositioned by a porn store owner, so, yeah, very interesting.
What was the strangest fetish that you came across?
Probably, it doesn't sound that strange, but we found that there were people here in Melbourne, or one person in particular, who liked to go out to fields where there were animals and get the animal to vomit on them while they were doing things to themselves.
Oh, good God. Oh my God, that's all right. So I didn't have to ask. I didn't have to ask for that. So that was great.
Yep.
But holy crap. Yeah. Back to your question. Really, that's interesting. Wow. I mean, whatever it takes to make it through the day.
Yep. And how you even find out that's your fetish, I don't want to know.
It's like any fetish like that that's very in the left field. It's you stumble upon it, or sometimes you step on it.
Yep.
But yeah. But I don't know. The conversation I had with the owner, it was hey, I'm trying to make a short film. I have like no money. I'm a broke guy. I'm just trying to make a cool thing. And after we showed up, we kind of scouted the location, and I even had like breakfast with the guy once just to say, hey, I feel like I was making a deal with this guy. His name's Steve. He's the owner of the Wildcat, and he's awesome. He's so cool. If you're ever looking for a porn store in Inglewood, California, go to the Wildcat. It's crazy there. It's like a time machine. Everything just sort of stopped from like 1989 forward. It's beautiful. But it was it was like getting any location.
Yep.
Any location like that they never have film, because that was the thing, they never had filmmakers show up, and well, outside of porn, they never had like narrative show up, so that was cool. I was like the first narrative short film probably to film there. But after a couple conversations and a couple back and forths and panic attacks because he wanted more money, we settled on something, and yeah, we were able to get it. But he was great. It was a very interesting experience, to say the least.
Yeah. I read some of your quotes online about when you were first starting to work on this film, and you said that you wanted to put together a dream team to make this film. Tell us a little bit about how you assembled that dream team.
So when I first moved to Los Angeles, I worked in lighting and grip and electric. So I kind of used all of these people I met throughout that time. Like I met our DP, John Salmon. John Salmon is just like one of the coolest guys, and he's so like into the idea of like shooting a very 90s inspired heist movie. So I wanted him. And then it just friends and acquaintances and people funneled in from over here. At the end of the day, it felt like we stumbled upon a dream team, and that's what it was. I mean, I couldn't imagine anyone else in any other role in this movie, even down to the Gimp, even down to Cameron Byerly, who was our stunt performer / Gimp. He was the most chill guy to ask to latex up and kick some ass in a porn store and 3 overnights in a porn store. It was beautiful. That was my dream team. That was definitely my dream team.
Awesome. So, Jamie, tell us about where you are at now with the journey of making this into a feature film. Where are you at with that journey, and when can we expect to see the feature?
Oh man, when? Who knows? Hopefully next year we'll start filming. So I wrote the feature when I first moved here, and I was very naive, and I just, as a naive 27-year-old, you're just trying to write for laughs that you hope would work. So I'm going back and I'm making them actual jokes and actual laughs, because some of the humor just doesn't hold up. Some of it's outdated, and some of it's just topical to what's happening. Like, I wrote this in like 2017, and it just didn't. The jokes in 2023 are just a little better. So yeah, I'm rewriting it. Then we're going to go out and we're going to try to find investors in Scranton, Pennsylvania, people who want to just get involved in this weird journey of making a fun movie. And the fun thing about the feature is too, the porn store heist is just the first 5 minutes of the feature. So then we go on to Scranton, and we do some other fun stuff, and they get to rob a church, which I think is hilarious, and they get to rob a bunch of other places. It's gonna be very like Fun with Dick and Jane-esque, in the sense like they're just montages of them robbing places until they've got to rob the big kahuna.
Awesome.
What's that? You'll figure it out.
Awesome. Well, I can't wait to see the feature. But I guess for our listeners now, where can they see the short, and how have you felt about the reception to the short?
They could watch the short on Vimeo, or they could go to my Instagram. It's at Drummer Film Guy, because I'm a drummer and I'm a film guy. And you can find the link there and watch it. The reception has been awesome. I mean, down to tiny little responses and little comments we got from it. I like the lighting. I love the direction. I totally got what you're going for. It feels like a dream. I'm making my my childhood self just scream with joy right now. And I think that's the goal for any filmmaker. Just do something that, you know, when you're a kid, you can watch with your dad on a rainy Sunday.
Definitely. Well, Jamie, I know a lot of our listeners are going to rush off now and watch the short as soon as they can. What would you like to say to people who are about to sit down and watch it?
Have fun.
All right, mate. Well, we'll let you go. Thank you so much for taking the time to chat to us today. It's been an absolute honor, and I really mean it from the pit of my heart. I cannot wait to see this turn into a feature because I love this short film.
Thanks, Dave. Dude, you're awesome. You're so cool. Thanks.